Hello, this is Ben. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how you can easily integrate FieldRoutes with, in this case, Google Sheets using Zapier. This is very straightforward using FieldRoutes trigger rules. So first, I'm just going to demonstrate how this works, show the demo, and then I'll go into the technical piece of it. So let's just show, here's the spreadsheet I have. So what I want is I want every customer created to go into this spreadsheet, right, automatically. So how this works is you enter a name in here. So we're going to say Ben Test, and we'll put in a phone number, and we'll put in an address, and we can simply save this customer, right? So we're going to save the customer, and then that's really it, right? So we want any new customer created to go into here. So now what's going to happen here, it does take a couple minutes sometimes, but if we do a test here, you're going to see that in a second, this data will come into here. Right? As new customers are created, they will automatically come into here. So it's pretty cool. So this is all happening pretty much in real time. It just takes a minute or so afterwards. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go in and show you how this can technically be configured using FieldRoutes trigger rules. So first you want to start with a Zapier account. So if you're not familiar with Zapier, go to zapier.com, sign up for an account here, and create a new Zap. So in my case, I have a Zap here. I'm not going to show the whole creation process, but basically you add steps to this thing. So I've added a step here and I called it a webhook, and I selected a catch hook, which means it's going to trigger when a request is made to a Zapier URL. So if I create that, we're going to see if I go to test, we're going to see that I have a webhook URL, right? So the first step is to copy this URL. So I'm going to copy this URL, right? Then after that, we need to go into FieldRoutes. So inside of FieldRoutes here, you're going to see I'm in my admin and then trigger rules section here. So I've created a new trigger rule that is going to happen when a customer is created. Okay. So what this looks at is on save, when a status is changed to created, meaning created, it is going to send a webhook to this URL. So I'm going to delete this, paste in my URL here. Then I'm going to put in my request header this. So we need to say that we're sending JSON data, right? So you're going to put in this URL, you're going to put in the request header, and then the body is going to look like this. This is in the documentation I created, you'll see it. But here's all the different placeholders you have available. If you scroll down, you're going to see a whole bunch of them, right? So all you have to do here is you simply are going to paste this in, and then you'll be good to go. Right. Then you just need to make sure you save this. So just save it and then make sure it's active and all that stuff, right? But once it's saved, it's good to go. So then the next test we need to do is we actually need to go and create a new customer to trigger this. So whatever you set up, you can set up a whole bunch of different triggers. You can set up when a subscription is created or a customer cancels or whatever it is, right? But in this case, we're just going to do created. So once you do that, then we actually need to go test what we're looking for. So if we go back here to Zapier, this URL here, you need to test it. So we need to send a request to it. So how this works is we're going to need to go here and go create a new customer. So in my case, I'm creating a new customer. We're going to say test, and we can put in the details, whatever we want here, right? All that sort of stuff. And then we're simply going to hit save, and then see, it's formatted incorrectly, so we need to make sure it's formatted correctly, and we save that, and then we'll be good to go, right? So it's saved, we're all set here. Now what we need to do is we need to find these records. So you can go over to Zapier and hit find new records, and this was from earlier this morning, but you're going to see if I keep hitting find new records, eventually this other one's going to come in. It does take a couple minutes, so keep that in mind as you are testing. You might have to wait a little bit, but once it's there, simply click on it and you're going to see here's all the details, right? So let's hit continue with selected record. And then we need to set up our new action. So I'm going to set up a spreadsheet here where I'm going to be able to write this data to the spreadsheet. So I set this up. I said I want to create a new spreadsheet row. I want to write it in this sheet, in this worksheet. And then here you can start mapping your values. Right? So if I hit customer ID, then I can go in and find our customer ID, which should be right here, right? Then I can go map our first name, Ben. And then I'll map our next name, Test. and so on, right? I'm mapping the phone and everything else. And then once you're done, simply hit continue, and you can, oh, and sorry, I didn't show this, but basically you have to have a spreadsheet ahead of time. So I've created a spreadsheet here earlier. So you have to make sure you have a spreadsheet with columns in it, right? Once you do have that, then you can simply hit test. And what it's going to do is it's going to write that data to your sheet. So if we go back to our sheet, now we're going to see the data's here. Okay, so that's the final step. So we've integrated it, right? So now all we need to do is we just need to publish this, which I've already published it earlier. And now what's going to happen is every single time you go create a customer in here, it's going to write the customer details to this sheet. So then you'll have all that information inside of here, right? Again, here's the other one that just came in, right? You see, I just created one earlier. It came in and now it's here live. So this is how you'll integrate this. If you want to integrate it with different tools, you can simply add other steps in Zapier here. They have 7,000 applications at this point. It's probably growing all the time. So if you want to write it to HubSpot or Slack or Teams or whatever, you can do all that sort of stuff with this. So let me know if you have any questions. This is just a quick overview of how to do this. We focus on integration with FieldRoutes specifically. We've done a whole bunch of stuff here. This is just how to get data out of FieldRoutes, but I'll be making more videos on how to get data into FieldRoutes as well. So let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.